10 brutal Stoic rules to fix your mind. Life is harder than ever. Stress, pressure, endless distractions. Most people feel trapped in their own minds. But what if the secret to freedom has been with us for over 2,000 years? The ancient Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, faced wars, plagues, betrayal, and death. Yet they discovered timeless rules to stay calm, sharp, and unbreakable. In this video, we're diving into 10 brutal Stoic rules that will rewire your mind. Rules that cut through the noise, destroy weakness, and give you the mental toughness to handle anything life throws at you. These aren't feel-good tips. They're raw, uncompromising truths. If you apply them, your mindset will never be the same. So let's begin, because your mind needs this. Rule 1. Control only what you can. Most of the pain we feel in life doesn't come from reality itself. It comes from trying to control things we never could. We get angry at traffic, frustrated with politics, worried about the economy, obsessed with other people's opinions, and yet none of that is truly ours to control. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius put it simply, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that for a second. Real power isn't in forcing the world to bend to your will. Real power is in mastering your reaction to the world. Here's the truth. You can't stop the rain, but you can choose to bring an umbrella. You can't control if someone insults you, but you can decide whether to be offended. You can't make the stock market behave, but you can manage your own spending and discipline. This principle is brutally freeing. When you stop wasting energy on what's outside your control, you reclaim that energy for what matters: your actions, your choices, your mindset. Imagine two people stuck in traffic. One is pounding the steering wheel, yelling at strangers who can't even hear him. The other turns on a podcast, breathes deeply, and uses the time to learn something new. Same situation, different outcomes, because one person remembered the Stoic rule: control only what you can. So ask yourself, today and every day, am I fighting reality or am I mastering myself? The moment you choose the second option, you become untouchable. Rule 2. See obstacles as opportunities. What if every obstacle in your life was actually a hidden gift? That's not just positive thinking. That's a core Stoic truth. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Read that again. What stands in the way becomes the way. The very thing you think is blocking your path might be the thing that shapes your character, sharpens your skills, and pushes you toward your destiny. Think about history. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, but instead of being broken, he emerged as a stronger leader who changed a nation. Closer to home, think about the everyday struggles: losing a job, facing rejection, getting knocked down by life. These are not dead ends. They're detours that point to growth. The Stoics didn't deny hardship. They embraced it. They trained themselves to ask, not why me, but how can I use this? That shift changes everything. Picture this. You apply for your dream job and get rejected. Most people see failure. A Stoic sees training. Now you have a reason to refine your skills, network harder, and become so good they can't ignore you. Obstacles don't stop you. They sculpt you. The muscle only grows when it resists weight. The mind only grows when it resists challenge. So the next time life throws a wall in your path, don't curse it. Climb it, push against it, or better yet, use it as a stepping stone, because the obstacle is not in the way, the obstacle is the way. Rule 3. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. You are going to die. Harsh? Yes, but also the most liberating truth you'll ever hear. The Stoics had a phrase for this: memento mori. Remember that you must die. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The problem isn't that life is too short. The problem is we act like it's endless. Think about how much time slips away every day, scrolling social media, arguing online, procrastinating on dreams we keep saving for later. But later isn't guaranteed. Tomorrow is a luxury. Today is all you have. In the West, death is often hidden away, sanitized, ignored. But the Stoics looked it in the eye, not to be morbid, but to be awake, to remind themselves, if life is fragile, then every moment is precious. Imagine if today was your last day. Would you spend it doom scrolling through Instagram? Or would you call your parents, hug your kids, finally start writing that book, or tell someone you love them? Memento mori is not about fear, it's about urgency. Death doesn't make life meaningless, it makes it meaningful. It sharpens your priorities. It burns away the trivial. It forces you to ask what truly matters. The clock is ticking for all of us. That's not depressing, that's fuel. Use it. Because when you live with death in mind, you stop merely existing and start truly living. Rule 4. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is a lie. It's unreliable, inconsistent, and fleeting. You can feel motivated at midnight while watching a YouTube video, but when the alarm rings at 6 a.m., that motivation is gone. And this is where the Stoics and every person who's ever achieved greatness tell us the hard truth. Discipline is everything. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Notice he didn't say, wait until you feel like it. He said, do what you must. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline gets you across the finish line. The soldier trains in the rain. The athlete runs when no one is watching. The writer writes even when inspiration is nowhere to be found. Think about it. Every American gym is packed on January 1st, full of people hyped on New Year's motivation. By February, half of them are gone. But the disciplined few, the ones who show up, tired or not, rain or shine, they're the ones who transform their bodies and their lives. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is rational. Motivation depends on mood. Discipline depends on choice. And choice is always under your control. So here's the challenge. Stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, what must I do today to move closer to the person I want to be? If you live by that rule, nothing can stop you. Motivation is cheap. Discipline is priceless. Choose discipline and watch your life change. Rule 5. Silence is strength. In a world where everyone is shouting, silence has become a superpower. We live in an age of constant noise, social media arguments, endless opinions, and people desperate to be heard. But the Stoics knew a deeper truth. Strength is not in speaking more, but in knowing when to stay silent. Epictetus taught we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. That wasn't just about manners, it was about power. The one who listens learns. The one who speaks without thought often regrets it. Think about the last argument you had. Did yelling louder change anyone's mind? Probably not, but silence, measured, intentional silence, can disarm anger, reveal truth, and give you the upper hand. When you don't react impulsively, you control the battlefield. The strongest people in history often knew the weight of silence. Leaders like Abraham Lincoln or Marcus Aurelius didn't waste words. When they spoke, people listened, because their silence gave their words gravity. And silence isn't just for others, it's for you. In silence, you can reflect, process, and master your emotions. Noise is easy, reflection is rare. And reflection leads to wisdom. Here's the brutal truth. Not every thought deserves to be spoken, not every insult deserves a reply, and not every fight deserves your energy. Sometimes, silence is the sharpest response. So the next time you're tempted to react, pause, breathe, say nothing. Let your silence speak louder than words, because silence isn't weakness, it's strength. Rule 6. Embrace discomfort. Comfort is killing us. Modern life is designed to eliminate every ounce of discomfort. Soft beds, instant food, climate control, entertainment on demand. And yet, the more comfortable we become, the weaker we feel. The Stoics understood this long before smartphones and fast food. Growth only happens through discomfort. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." In other words, it's our avoidance of hardship that makes life harder. Think about the gym. Muscles only grow by being pushed to their limits, by enduring stress and strain. The same is true for your mind and spirit. Avoid struggle and you remain fragile. Face it and you become anti-fragile. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. Cold baths, simple meals, sleeping on the floor so they wouldn't be slaves to luxury. They trained themselves to endure hardship, so when real challenges came, they were ready. Now look at today's culture. We chase comfort at all costs, and then wonder why anxiety, depression, and burnout are everywhere. The truth? Comfort doesn't make us happy. It makes us restless. Discomfort, on the other hand, builds strength, gratitude, and resilience. Ask yourself, when was the last time you chose discomfort on purpose? Woke up early, took the harder path, pushed past your limits. Every time you do, you toughen your body, sharpen your mind, and free your spirit. The Stoic way is simple. Stop running from discomfort. Seek it. Train with it. Because a life without discomfort isn't peace, it's weakness. And weakness is the one pain you can't afford. Rule 7. Focus on what truly matters. Life is short, but distractions are endless. We chase likes, money, possessions, and approval, only to realize none of it brings lasting peace. The Stoics taught us a brutal but freeing truth. Most of what we obsess over doesn't matter. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He wasn't trying to scare us. He was reminding us to cut through the noise. Ask yourself, at the end of your life, what will truly matter? Will it be the hours you spent scrolling, the arguments with strangers online? Or will it be the relationships you built, the character you forged, the impact you left behind? The modern world is designed to scatter your attention. Every app, every headline, every notification is a hook pulling you away from your purpose. But the Stoic way is focus, choosing the essential, saying no to the trivial. Picture a man on his deathbed. Does he regret not checking more emails? Or does he regret not spending time with his children, not pursuing his calling, not loving deeply enough? The answer is always the same. Focusing on what matters doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities. It means aligning your life with your highest values: family, integrity, growth, contribution. Everything else is noise. So here's the challenge. Every day, ask yourself, if today were my last, would this be worth my time? If the answer is no, cut it out. Reclaim your life from distractions, because when you focus on what truly matters, you stop living small and start living real. Rule 8. Don't be owned by desire. Desire promises freedom, but often delivers chains. We think, if I just get that car, that job, that relationship, then I'll be happy. But the Stoics saw the trap. When your happiness depends on what you don't yet have, you'll never be free. Epictetus warned, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In other words, the more you crave, the poorer you become, no matter how much you own. Look around our culture. It runs on desire.
Ads tell you you're incomplete. Social media convinces you everyone else has more. It's a treadmill. You run harder, but you never arrive. The Stoics flipped the script. Instead of asking, "What do I want?" they asked, "What do I already have that I can appreciate?" Gratitude turns what you have into enough. Discipline keeps desire from owning you. This doesn't mean rejecting ambition. It means not being enslaved by it. There's a difference between using desire as fuel and letting desire control your life. A Stoic doesn't say, "I'll be happy when." A Stoic says, "I can be happy now while I work toward more." Think about addictions, whether it's to money, fame, food, or approval. Every addiction is just desire out of control. Freedom isn't getting everything you want. It's not needing everything you want. So here's the rule. Don't be owned by desire. Use it. Direct it. Keep it on a leash, because the man who controls his desires owns his life. The man who doesn't is owned by them.
Rule 9. Control your reactions. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. That's not just philosophy, that's power. The Stoics believed this was the core of freedom. Between stimulus and response, you always have a choice. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that. Two people can face the same event, job loss, breakup, insult, and one falls apart while the other grows stronger. The difference isn't the event, it's the reaction. In America and across the West, outrage is everywhere. Every tweet, every headline, every comment section is baiting you to lose control. And when you react impulsively, anger, outrage, panic, you give away your power. You're no longer steering the ship. But when you pause, when you breathe, when you choose your response, you reclaim control. You decide, not your emotions. That's Stoic strength. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, writing in his journal late at night, reminding himself to stay calm, to meet insults with patience, to meet hardship with dignity. If an emperor had to train his reactions, so do we. Here's the truth. You can't stop the world from being chaotic, but you can stop chaos from owning you. Every insult ignored, every fear faced, every anger redirected, it's all training. So next time life throws a punch, don't just swing back blindly. Step back, choose, control your reaction. Because that moment of control is the difference between being a slave to the world and being free. Rule 10. Live with virtue. At the heart of Stoicism, one principle rises above all others: live with virtue. To the Stoics, virtue wasn't just morality, it was the only true measure of a good life. Wealth, fame, comfort, all temporary, but virtue, that's eternal. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Simple, direct, powerful. But what does virtue mean? To the Stoics, it was wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Wisdom to see the world clearly. Courage to do what is right, even when it's hard. Justice to treat others fairly. And self-control to master your desires and impulses. In the modern world, we often confuse success with virtue. We praise people for being rich, popular, or powerful. But history tells the truth. Those without virtue eventually fall. The greedy, the corrupt, the selfish, they may rise fast,
but they crumble just as quickly. Living with virtue means asking every day, am I acting with integrity? Am I helping or harming? Am I choosing courage over comfort? These are not soft questions. They are the foundation of a life worth living. The Stoics believed that even if you lose everything, your money, your health, your reputation, if you still have virtue, you've lost nothing, because virtue is the one thing that cannot be taken from you. So here's the challenge. Don't just chase success, chase virtue. Live with wisdom, stand with courage, act with justice, master yourself. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember what you owned. It remembers how you lived. Virtue is the ultimate freedom. Live by it, and you will never be broken. And that's it. 10 brutal Stoic rules to fix your mind. These aren't just old words from dusty books. They're tools, weapons, a way to live stronger, calmer, and more free in a chaotic world. The truth is, life will never get easier, but you can get tougher. You can train your mind the same way the Stoics did, day after day, choice after choice.
Now it's your turn. Which of these rules hit you the hardest? Which one will you start practicing today? Let me know in the comments. I read every one. If this video gave you value, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more life-changing philosophy, and share this with someone who needs it.